You're listening to Elite Radio, the podcast for repair shop owners by repair shop owners. Welcome back to Elite Radio, and thanks for joining us on the next episode in our series in the Coach's Corner, where we focus on highlighting the success and struggles of being a shop owner, as well as the relationships built through coaching. I'm your host, Darrin Barney, and I'm here with Randy Pickering and Jamie Kellerman. And thanks so much for being here, guys. It's a real honor to be able to spend time with two rock star shop owners. I mean, Randy, you were for a long time, and Jamie, you still are. So really excited about this conversation that we're going to have today. And like to, have you guys do a little bit of introductions here. Randy, I think I'll start with you if that's all right.
Sure, you bet. Well, first off, Darrin, glad to be here. Glad to be with Elite. I was a third generation automotive repair shop owner. I had my piece for about 44 years. We grew to two successful locations. I think that for me, it was trying to devise the time for my succession planning. How was that going to play on out? And we ended up, after purchasing one of the facilities, that kind of set my wife up and I up for being able to have an income plan as we move forward. And so in December of 2020, we went ahead and sold our two businesses to my sons, and they've been running it since. During that transition, I was asked to be a coach with Elite by another friend of mine. And so I said, I think I could do that. I think it would make it really interesting. I think I've been with several other coaching companies, peer groups, consultants throughout my time. And I'm a strong believer, whether it's having a coach for my golf game, okay, or coach in the automotive repair business or whatever it might be. You learn from other people that have either been there or certainly know how to get you there. So that's always been, and I think that my personality is conducive to being able to be friendly and work with people and be able to maybe dig a little deeper at times when we need to and that sort of thing. So the coaching for me has been a really nice transition out of my business, helping other people in their business. And I've enjoyed our friendships that I've gained from each one of my clients that we've gone through and enjoyed getting to know them, their families, how they run their business, those types of things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's you've done extremely well. I mean, as a business owner, and then to be able to pass that on to your family and have them to carry that torch and to be able to continue on that legacy is what you built is incredible.
Yeah, I should have said, and I didn't really say it, but it's I was third generation, and it was both on my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family, the automotive repair industry piece. So
Wow,
I felt really honored to be able to carry that legacy forward, and yeah, and my
that's really
kids
cool.
as they move forward as well.
I didn't know your mom was too.
Yeah, so it was my mom's father. They had a tire retreading facility for many years, and that was
Wow.
actually the generational piece that kind of carried forward. My dad and my uncle took that over. Just sold. They did recapping, and then they also did sell tires, and then into general auto repair.
Wow. Do you guys still do retreading at all? I just have to
No,
ask. Huh.
nope. That was all
Okay.
gone away.
Yeah. Huh. That's cool.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I'm excited to continue these conversations, Randy. Thank you so much for being
yeah.
here.
Great, Darrin.
Yeah, I've always looked up to you. I've told this story, but he was on the ASA Colorado board. And I kept hearing about this Randy Pickering when I first got on the board, and I was like, Randy Pickering, who's this Randy Pickering guy? And I kept hearing about Randy, and then I met his daughter Taylor, and I was like, she was a rock star, and it's like, who are these people? And then when I got more involved with Elite, and I'm like, this is the Randy Pickering, this is the living legend right here. So
It's
it's
kind of
awesome
you
to
to
have you on the
say.
show. But thank you for being here. So.
You're welcome.
Mr. Kellerman, Mr. Jamie, why don't
Yes.
you tell us a little bit about yourself too, my friend?
Okay. I'm a second generation owner. My father started our company in 1982. I came in right out of high school. Not sure what I was gonna do with my life, and jumped into the automotive field to see if that was something I wanted to explore. 2004 was when that was, and it's been kind of been growing with him for quite a long time until he finally decided to get out of the industry. And 2019 was kind of his last year. He kind of really was finally done, and we started to decide a succession plan of what I would do to purchase from him and move forward with the company. So beginning in 2020, right before the nice COVID years hit, I purchased from my father, and we started our process here. Me and my wife and family jumped right into it. I had a goal right off the bat to kind of do a lot of what Randy has kind of discussed of his past. I think that's why Bob Cooper, when I started talking with him originally, put me in place with Randy, was everything that I asked or had a goal to do, Randy had already done. It was like I wanted to be able to have multi shop ownership. I wanted to expand into different communities. I wanted to do many of the things that Randy already does or did. As well as a lot of the things that I needed to get to those points that I wasn't doing, procedural type situations or more, organized business ownership, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
that I wasn't
Yeah.
really involved with when it was just my dad doing those things and it was me running the facility. Randy has really, put me in place to be able to really understand a lot of those things and understand a lot of my key information that I need to understand to be able to make educated decisions on what my next steps are. So got thrown in with Randy when I was actually looking to expand into having more employees. At that point, we were looking for new service advisors and get myself off of the front counter all by myself as a service advisor or service manager. So I was trying to make that leap. Wasn't really sure how that was going to go at that point in January or February of 2021. And I got a hold of Bob Cooper at that point, and he pushed me into it and thought it would be a good idea. So we tried it out, and it's been going ever since. So
Yeah.
Nice.
very, very, very happy we've done it. I mean, we've definitely changed the whole course of my business lifestyle as well as so many other things in my life. So it's been a amazing ride for sure.
It's amazing that you really don't know what you don't know,
Oh yeah,
until you get somebody
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I know,
come in
I
with.
know we're going to talk a little bit further and deeper into this, but Jamie also not just only took over the general auto repair side of this, but he had a towing business that's attached to
Yes.
this as well. So it's dual
Huh.
business in that. And he was trying to figure out, and we'll go into this a little more. Is this successful? Does this make money? I don't know. And so we
Right.
Yeah.
dug in deeper, and I'll look forward to having those conversations as we move through here.
Well, and really, I mean, that's scary. When you manage the book, you manage your business by your bank account. You really don't know, is it
Yeah, and
profitable
that's
or
what we were
not?
doing. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what it was like. Week to week. Are you in the red or are you in the black? How do you feel, etc. Yeah, definitely. Don't know what we should have been
Yeah.
looking at. And then, I mean, I guess I could have learned a lot more from my dad. I mean, he was definitely a success in the business, but I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking about those things. I was
Mhm.
running the front counter. I wasn't thinking about those kinds of things. So
Why would you?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't you don't know what you don't know. And there's so
Yeah.
much
Mhm.
power in that phrase because what you don't know until somebody comes along and tells you, "Hey, are you paying attention to this?" And all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, why should I pay attention to it?" And then once you
Yeah.
understand, it's like, "Oh my goodness, you can never go back."
Yeah. No, yeah, then you're just stuck in Excel sheets all day long because you want to learn more and more and more data. Yeah. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
it's funny that when I first started coaching with Kevin, that's what he made me. My wife actually lock me in my office for an hour a day,
Really?
and it started an hour a week. And and I still have the sticky note in my desk that's it's a little yellow sticky note and it says "Do not disturb." And Kevin actually made my wife lock me in there, put that sticker on the door, and I for an hour I would sit in there, and it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I loved being.
Yeah.
Love being involved and putting out the fires. And then you realize it's like, wait a minute, we're never going to grow unless I start to lock myself in this room and devote to thinking, and in the numbers and the important things because we're so
Yeah.
busy putting out fires, we don't realize who's starting the fires.
One
So
of my beginnings like that was the same way right off the bat with the elite. You guys have that Eagles course that you guys do every year, I guess,
yeah,
and was one of the first big things that I did with you guys, and I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready to step away from the front counter. I didn't think it'd be okay. I didn't think my employees could handle it. And that was a 3 or 4 day course, I think. And we did the same thing. I locked myself in the office and said, "I am not available. You're just going to have to deal with it and figure it out." And that was like a big step for us, and just amazing to watch them actually do their thing and not have to worry about micromanaging every little aspect of the business and realize that you are able to do other things. You're not stuck to one role. So.
well, that's when the big growth happens. When you're
Mhm.
no longer, once again, when you're no longer putting out fires, you're figuring out who's lighting the fires. You know,
Yes,
it's
for
like we're
sure.
actually looking bigger picture. And now it's like I love the fact of being back further out because now I can really see things from a clearer vision. And it's like what really needs to
Yeah,
be improved, what needs to be fixed.
yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that story with us, because I think that a lot of people don't even realize they need to do that as a shop owner. You don't
Oh
realize that
yes,
you need to actually step back and not be that guy behind the glass door that nobody gets to talk to. It's like there's a reason why you're back there,
yeah, yeah.
and there's
Totally
playing
different view.
Tetris or whatever. You're actually working. So, you know, but yeah, well, that's cool. That's good. So, I mean, do you remember back in those days? You said in 21. Do you remember how did you know that you needed coaching, or what made you reach out?
Um, well, just kind of, I mean, I kind of felt like, I had been doing the day-to-day operations for my father for a long time. And I bought the business from him, and it felt different. You're running it for yourself, but it was still kind of, I felt like I was just kind of stuck in that spot. I wasn't really growing any different. We were kind of in that same, sales number, same routine of what we were doing every day, every year, etc. And I wanted to do something different. I wanted to either, like I said, grow into another shop, or
Yeah.
whatever else we could do to expand business. I wanted something different out of it. So I was kind of just looking into things, online, et cetera, for training for myself. And Elite popped up. I honestly don't even remember how I even got involved with it right off the bat,
Yeah.
but um, I contacted you guys, and Bob Cooper is a great salesman. He
Oh
uh,
my
he
goodness. Yeah.
uh, he brought me right in, and we talked 3 or 4 times in a week or so, in on evenings and everything. And one point, I even missed a phone call from him, and he wouldn't let me miss that phone call. He called me back 3 or 4 times to make sure that I talked to him that night. But I am grateful, forever grateful that he did, because yeah, I mean, if he didn't push me to do it, I may not have done it. But
Right.
like I said, I knew we were expanding. I knew we were hiring in a second service advisor, and at that point, money may not have been the biggest thing in our account. So it was kind of
Right.
worrisome to me. What are we going to be doing next? And I thought it was a good idea to have somebody in my corner. Like you're saying, have a coach
Right.
in the corner that maybe can help me make sense of what all the next steps are going to be.
Well, there's that clarity that comes in from having
Um,
somebody that actually has ran an automotive repair shop, has been down the road
100%.
before you. I mean, you look at it now and it's like, wow, what a genius pairing. Randy's already done this with his
Yeah.
kids. He's done it with his parents. I mean, it's just he's already had all these things happen. What a better person to guide you through this
Yeah.
process of knowing that you don't know everything, because he did the same thing with his kids.
Yep. He was already set up and ready to go. He knew exactly what I was going to be doing, I guess. I don't know. It was a
Well,
perfect pairing for sure.
Randy, what did you how did you know what he needed help with? Did you ask questions, or what did you do?
You know, we have that performance report, and I think that told us an awful lot. It gave us good
Yeah.
information. It grounded us with data, and from there, we just started kind of picking off pieces here and there. I mean, there was I'm gonna say no real outstanding time, except that the one thing I mentioned earlier was we're working hard in the general repair business, and things are going, and the towing piece is over here just
Yeah.
kind of fledgling, and it had kind of been holding its own, and it had been dropping the last year or so. And we kind of dug into those numbers a little bit more and started kind of seeing what that could be. And then all of a sudden, it just took a turn, and Jamie gave it a little more attention. And all of a sudden, it's like, whew, it took off like a rocket. So
Yeah.
I think more than anything, it was given attention where attention needed to be given,
Yeah.
and we had data that we could support that information. And it's like, okay, we need to tweak some things here. So we were able to tweak, and then we had some discussions. We put some procedures maybe in those types of things. So
Yeah.
I think that there was just a number of different things. Nothing that was a clear standout, except for um, giving. We had information now that we could do something with and make and see things more clearly.
Yeah, I
Right.
would say more of a guidance issue. Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing, is like you said, knowing what the data is, knowing what I should be looking for. And right off the bat, like you said, the towing business was one of them. Was, are we making money here? Are we not? What should I be putting my efforts into? I mean, obviously, once we started to delegate work to other individuals, that helped out tremendously as well. So I could focus on other things that were part of the towing business, etc. But on that subject there too, is putting the right people in the right places
Yeah,
has been a key component for our business. Is, I mean, Tim, my towing manager here, putting him into this role rather than being in the service advisor role that he was with me, he's been a huge point of the growth of that part of our business. So, and
good
as a
point.
service advisor, that wasn't the case. And it's just trying to make sure you put those pieces in the place that they should be.
He was on
Yeah.
the bus, just not in the right seat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth though, really?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
gotta
what it
make
is.
those choices and figure out, are they really supposed to be on the bus with you, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, I got to ask. I mean, that's something that we keep that came up in your notes, and you guys have mentioned a couple of times. I mean, what are some secrets that you can tell somebody that's looking at growing their towing side of their business? I mean, what did you guys learn?
Honestly, towing wise, I don't have any secrets for it. I mean, I think the towing business is definitely an charted territory on a lot of automotive shops
Yeah.
probably area, but there's not really a secret to it. The business is there. It's just a matter of going out and getting it. I mean, going out and signing up for insurance jobs, motor clubs, the
Okay.
municipalities that we have. I mean, and the businesses are out there, or the business that you need to get is out there. It's not really a hard thing to get. You're not really advertising like we are for automotive repair, or blowing up the Google pages with money out the door. It's just a matter of going out and getting the work, and then having the right staff to do it for you. Is because you can't do it by yourself. And that was our place at that point. It was me and maybe one, two other guys trying to do towing 24/7, after hours during the day, and it just
Yeah.
wears you down. So you definitely have to be able to, put that supporting staff in there with you as well, or you're never going to make it.
Huh.
And I think
S-
doing what you say you're gonna do, because you guys would then commit to it and make sure it was done and handled, kind
Yeah,
of, I'm gonna say cradle to grave, but whatever that looked like, it was
Yeah.
taken care of.
yeah, for sure.
Huh.
And
And
I mean,
so, yeah, go ahead, Jamie. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
just
Sorry about
you're
that.
good. Bring in the that's what he just says there. I mean, bringing in the same aspects that you have with your customer service from the automotive side. Yeah, you're definitely, we definitely get the compliments on a daily basis of the difference of us and our towing guys compared to the most of the groups that come around for AAA and that kind of stuff. So.
Well, tell us. I mean, what does that mean? Tell us. Enlighten me. I'm
I
curious. I mean,
mean,
is it?
just the way they act. I mean, the guys, the people that we have in our facility, they all kind of emulate what we try to to put out for our customer experience on the auto side as well. And they care about their job, they care about their people, and it shows by just the little aspects of calling the customer before you get there to make sure they're okay before you stop, before you head out on the road, make sure they're not stranded in an unsafe area, or all those little tiny customer service things that just really
Huh.
changes the way the customer is treated for the day.
Well, I mean, just going back to the basics, right? Taking care of people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
You
And
know.
I think part of
Huh.
that is it's a top down mentality, because that's Jamie's heart.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to make sure that people are taken care of. The money is secondary, but it's, are people taken care of?
Yeah.
And that's internal customers and external customers, both his
Yeah.
people, and his customers.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense. Because you think about, I just reflecting on the people I've had as tow drivers have come and dropped off,
Yeah.
vehicles at the shop, and I'm like, oh my goodness, where did this guy come from? Comes in and grumbles and literally throws the key at you, and you're
Yeah.
like, I mean, but to have somebody that,
Drop.
I mean, that would be, I would call you too.
Yeah.
It's like if I had a
Yeah.
great tow truck driver that came in that was treating my customers with respect and was nice to them. I mean, worried about them being okay on the side of the road. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I had somebody say, are they okay? It's like, I mean, that would be
Yeah.
that's awesome. What a great idea for businesses, apply what we do in normal business. I mean, I know how serious you are about your customer service. I mean, you've had a bunch of your people go through the master's program.
Yeah.
You still got John with you. I assume he is, right?
Yeah, John's gone
Cool.
since growing into our second location. John's kind of jumped up into a service manager role for Milford, and Sam's still here as well. He went through your
Yeah.
program there, and we've actually got. I was just talking to Randy today about at our training session this morning about sending a couple more to you. So
Wow. John is an awesome guy, man. I just
yeah,
loved him. That was years ago, but it was one of those things that he had this certain feeling about him where it was like, this guy is somebody. He's got that leadership ability in him.
John was a funny guy because he was definitely one that he had the operation side of things, but he didn't have the people sides of things. And to
Yeah.
the growth that he put after going through your program was quite a bit of a difference. I mean, he's definitely grown on that side the customer experience side as well.
That's cool. I didn't mean to get sidetracked there. I love
No,
John.
yeah, he is. That's cool.
And Sam's cool too. I mean, nothing bad of it, but John was just one
Yeah,
of those guys. We came in and he was sitting in class and he had his arms folded his first day, and he's like,
yeah.
and I'm
Just
like,
yeah.
are we going to win this guy over or not?
That's
But
John. That's for sure.
yeah, I mean, it's like we had to prove ourselves to him, and that's it. But I love that about him because it's like, I'm here. You better make it worth my time. It's like, okay, you got it. But that's
He
cool.
made me. He was pretty amazed, or I was pretty amazed by the homework that you guys give out and the things that you do for that training session. I mean, he was. It was like, the most important thing he had on his plate every day, all day. Like he took it very, very seriously,
Nice.
which was awesome for me. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, I'm paying to have this course done. I
Yeah,
appreciated that 100%. But yeah, he went all in it.
that's cool. Well, now, I mean, he's a manager for you guys, right?
Yeah, he's a manager for us now, like I said, and then
Wow,
he was
that's
actually having a
cool.
baby at the time when he was going through
Yeah,
your
he
thing
was.
too. So, man, yeah, he was in all different directions at that point of his life. So, I mean, I was forever grateful that he actually put in the effort that he did.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, yeah, good. Make
When
sure you tell them
Darren,
both hi for me. But yeah,
Mhm.
sorry about that, Randy. What's that?
you may have picked up on what he said there. It was so he opened up a second location, had a second location. What is it, Jamie? Maybe 15 minutes away from you, your
Okay.
Yeah,
first location.
yeah, about that.
And so he just opened that up within the last 2 months, less than 3 months, I think, is where he's
Yeah,
at.
July 1st. So yeah,
July
we're
1st.
finishing our second month right
Cool.
now.
Okay.
Well, that's
Okay.
awesome.
And
That's
so
in
things are,
Loveland, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I saw that and I was like, Loveland? It's like
Yeah.
Randy and I's neighborhood, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
A
In
little farther
Colorado.
away. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
farther away.
Yeah. A little bit further away. Could have been North Pole too. Could have been Loveland in North Pole. Who knows? But anyway, it's
Yeah.
not. So
Right.
anyway, so because of that growth, and those are some things we had a lot of conversations about and that sort of thing. And Jamie took the bull by the horns on bringing that one together. And because of that, and utilizing some of his other people, he's been able to take and cross train his staff over to the second location as well through that process. So it's just like anything. It's growing pains. It's
Oh my
usually
goodness.
staffing
Yeah.
growing pains more than anything,
Yep.
but it continues to improve. And yeah, it's exciting to see how it's going to come out here this year.
That's cool.
Mhm.
So, I mean, when you say it, did you buy a location or did you start from scratch or okay.
No, so yeah, it was I guess you want to call it a failing automotive shop at that point. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
an absentee owner had been involved with this location and had been gone for a couple 3 years, and then was letting somebody else just run it from far away, and it went downhill. And that guy wanted out, the guy that owned it from out of state. So actually, my Napa salesman got me involved with it, and I wasn't really at the point of saying I was 100% ready for that. That's what was one of my goals on
Yeah.
Yeah.
our elite goals sheet that we set up. But
Hmm.
it was time, I think, and
Yeah.
then yeah, we tried it.
The
We went
opportunity
for it.
presented itself. Yep.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it was a perfect opportunity for us, and we closed on the building in May, purchased the building and property in May, and redid the inside of it with some front office construction and stuff, and opened like I said, 1st of July.
Oh,
The
that's
bones
cool.
were all really good
Yeah,
as far as the
Okay.
building was concerned, and
yeah,
it
equipment and
was
all
a nice
came
move
with it
in.
and everything. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, no, but that was nice having Randy's help that, he's been through multiple locations and he's helped other clients through that stuff too. I bet that was really
hmm
valuable to have that insight.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I pick his brain with the weirdest things every day. I'm sure, but yeah, it's definitely been nice.
They're just things. Weird or not, they're just things anymore.
Well, yeah, but it's still one of those things of giving that extra
Yeah.
guidance, though, of saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, well, wait a minute here. Does it meet all these criteria and all those things?" Did he send you pictures of it, or how did you know? How did you learn about the location if it was going to be a good fit or not?
It was actually a place I knew. I mean, it's like I said, 15 minutes from us. I mean, we've been
Cool.
by it a billion times. It was a place that I've always thought was. It's a beautiful building. It's a beautiful. I mean, they just when they built the building for the automotive repair, it was they went all out with it, and I've always thought, man, I wish we could have a building like that. And it came up for sale, and yeah, I was like, well, heck, I mean, we have to. And it has some other key pieces that kind of helped out, where it's got a little section in it that rents out to a Navis budget rental facility, so it kind of helps with
Cool.
the initial costs. And I kind of just went for it, knowing, like you said, having Randy behind me. It was kind of like, well, no matter what, even if we fail in the beginning, I've got help. I've got somebody in my
Yeah.
corner that's gonna help me along and get me through some of the ups and downs of whatever this takes. So it made you feel a little better, more comfortable to jump on in.
There's so much value though in having that just second opinion,
Yes.
somebody
Yeah.
that's like I was saying earlier, you're looking at that's like, no, you don't want this building of how it's laid out, or yeah, look at how this is just set up. This is perfect. And, just that extra insight and that guidance,
Definitely.
I
Yeah, I
always
think
talk
that's
about,
one of the things that we can bring in coaching is kind of that perspective, a little bit of clarity, maybe
yes.
general knowledge of operations, you know, um, our previous or real life experiences, and then other coaching experiences. All that funnels in
Yeah.
and kind of gets sorted through. And that's some of the things that I think we can bring into coaching and help
Well, and
clarify.
it's amazing though, because it's just those experiences what helps us all grow, and it's just, you've been through things. It's just like, what to look out for.
Yeah.
I can't believe how much my life changed when I got a coach, and all of a sudden it's like, why are you doing it this way? It's like, because it's the way we've always done it. I didn't know
Yeah.
any different, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, that was a great idea. And you look at just like this towing thing where, it's a
Yeah.
great money maker for you guys, and amazing how you can have something sitting right underneath your nose, not even realize that it's good until you just make a few tweaks. And all of a sudden it's like, wow, here's another profit way
Yeah.
to coming in. And
We were basically on the road of, trying to get to the point of getting rid of that. That was where we were at, before
yeah,
I got with Randy. And, it
Mhm.
was a matter of him showing me the right information and understanding where I was coming from with it. And we went from 2 trucks to 9, and
wow,
it's,
9.
yeah, there's been quite a bit of a difference in 2
That's
years.
cool.
Yep.
He's
Wow.
his whole business has got a really beautiful color scheme and his logos and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. But one of his trucks, I just have to point this out.
Yeah.
He's a dyed in the orange and black
Mm.
Bengals fan, so he had
Yes.
actually one painted in Bengal colors. It's beautiful, and
Yeah.
it's really makes a statement of we're here to stay. We're here for the long haul,
Yeah.
and we're part of this community. So it's just cool the way they've reacted and the way they've in continued to ingrain themselves into the community
Yeah.
that
Did
they
you
serve.
Did you see, not to go off subject on that, but the Joe Mixon, we got him to sign that truck. Did you see that, Randy, online at all?
I did not see that
Oh,
online.
yeah. So we towed his
Nice.
car. Yeah, we towed Joe Mixon, the running back for Cincinnati Bengals, car, and we got him to sign the hood of it. So,
How
That's
so
cool
now,
is that,
awesome.
man?
yeah, so now we've got a hood to go in my basement as well, and when we're all said and done here.
Neat.
Wow, that
That's
That's
is
very
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
it is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, different.
So I got to ask you a really out there question, but did you ever read Think and Grow Rich?
No, I have not.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great book by Napoleon Hill, and it was written in the 30s, and it's just about attracting the things into your life that you really want and that you seek after, and you really focus on those things. You do it a lot. I can just tell by talking about the building that you looked at and you wanted it, and then all of a sudden it comes up,
It's
many
just
years
great.
later, but it
Yeah.
comes up
Yeah,
available. And then to the colors of the trucks, and having this guy come in and you actually working on his vehicle, having
Yeah.
him sign it. I mean, it's just it's happening a lot in your life, and it's a cool thing. It's really cool.
it's
So
cool. I'll have
I
to look
figured
into
you'd
it.
read that book because he was one of the first guys. I mean, Jesus talked about it years ago, but Napoleon Hill really took it and ran with it, and just wrote a great book about success and how the things you focus on you get into your life.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
You know,
100% agree with that. So,
yeah, it's a life changer. Not to get off topic, but I mean, seriously, it's a great book.
no,
It's one of those ones that I recommend it to my clients whenever I start working with them, and then it's amazing because when they apply it, you'll watch literally their lives change because they start focusing on the things they want to do and what they want to accomplish, and it's cool. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's that
So
way with everything in life, like you're saying. I mean, just focusing on the positive things compared to the negative things can change your entire world every day. So I can imagine.
yeah,
I'll have
yeah,
to look
it's
into it.
just good stuff. So, but yeah, that's cool. So I mean, back to the coaching stuff. I mean, were there times where you've been really frustrated with Randy when he like tells you something that you didn't want to hear, or has it always been a cool, good relationship?
We haven't had that yet. I mean, I haven't at least. I don't know if
That's
he's been
cool.
pissed or mad at me
No.
yet, but no. I mean, the only thing I could say that maybe I could do that would has got Randy ever in a bunch is missing a few here and there of our appointments when stuff comes up. But I usually try to no matter what, when Wednesday rolls around, I'm making sure I get everything ready to go for my meetings with Randy, so I don't disappoint. So I
I
don't think
know,
we've ever had
right?
that problem.
And this guy does not disappoint.
That's cool. Wow,
Mm.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something as a coach. Nothing frustrates you more because you spend all this time prepping and
Yeah,
thinking about the client, what they need help with, and then to have them not show up, and you're like,
yeah,
I got all this stuff ready for us, man. And I know
yeah,
I missed plenty of them with Kevin, my coach originally, and he would be so frustrated with me, and I didn't understand. I'm like, whatever, you got an hour for free, man,
yeah,
whatever. But it's like, and then once you become a coach, you're like, well, yeah, I'm excited for you. I looked at your numbers. I actually thought about you. I really tried to figure out how I'm going to help you and then not have you show up. I'm like, darn it. I was excited
just
to talk to you about this stuff,
just a big letdown. Yeah,
It is,
Mhm.
because I mean,
I think
especially
that's
when you got somebody like Randy in your corner and the good coaches really care. I mean,
yeah,
Randy's lost sleep over you. I can guarantee it. Something has happened, and he's like woke up at 3 a.m. and he's like, "Wow, I can't believe that happened." And it's just the brain. It's just how it is. And I know Randy, and it's just the way. I'm sure it's happened to you, right, Randy?
Yeah,
yeah.
and
You
I would say even the excitement of things coming up, it's like,
Yes.
you know what? In this purchase deal, we need to have this conversation. I think let's have these. So I'll make some notes and I'll go back to bed or something like that, or I'll wake up and I'll kind of put together maybe a spreadsheet or a document and shoot it out to him, and then we'll have some conversation. So yeah, I mean those are exciting things for us as a coach. Um, I talk about this business being our business. Okay, I have no stake in his business, but
I
yeah,
know.
you
but
personally
I do
invest.
have a large stake into it
Oh
just
my
because
goodness.
of our friendship and our relationship, and I want to be able to add to what he's doing and not certainly diminish or take away. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it's that
definitely.
excitement. That's the part that I just love.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's just like so exciting. I literally had one of my clients that he just broke 11 million last year, and when we started,
Wow.
we were a quarter of that, and it's like I literally talk about it being our business, and it's
hmm
like, but it's something I feel like, I mean, it's not my business, but it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
because literally, we're talking about doing these different things and going outside the box and all these things. And it's like, man, I've been there with you in the corner with you, fighting all the way through it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
you've
a great
helped grow it
feeling.
from there to there. I mean, you personally
Yeah.
invested a lot of time and
Yeah.
information and effort. So I mean, yeah, I can see how that would feel that way.
hmm
But I mean, you got to feel that too, though, because you got Randy, you got the whole elite team
Oh yeah.
behind you that,
Yes.
you need something. We're here. I mean, you got
Oh yeah.
Randy, obviously, but you still got all of us here still rooting for you. And, we see that Randy will send out a message and our coaches will put something out like, hey, they just had a record month here. And I looked through
Yeah.
your file and I saw that, we've sent you things throughout the years
Yeah.
of like
It's
these
kind of
things where you
cool.
had this
Yeah.
record, and it's like, we're all celebrating with you here because it's
Yeah.
like, it's so
You
cool.
get we get the random stuff from you guys like that. That's always been kind of a neat thing. All of a sudden, you'll get the like I got the I think a trophy sitting right next to me over here, where $1 million club or these random things where you guys send us even just chocolates for congratulating on a good month kind of thing, and that's really neat for not just me but the team too. It gives them something
Cool.
to get exciting about. But another topic of having you guys behind Randy is something that's been really, really nice is for me is to know that no matter what, even if I ask Randy, he's always says that. It's just like, well, let me get back to you. Let me take this for the week. And he's discussing it with whether it's you guys at Elite or any of his other 100,000 friends that Randy has in the industry. He'll find an answer for you and he'll come back to you the next week with something that's, I mean, so detailed and fully, what you need. I mean, and on any subject. I asked him recently about coming out to Denver to visit, and in 3 days I have a complete
Itinerary.
itinerary of what I'm going to do for 3 days by the hour and where I'm driving. And I mean, he is amazing. It's amazing to work with for sure.
Yeah. We got the right guy working with you, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And it's yeah, and there's something
Travel
rewarding
planner.
too.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got that coach. So I don't know, Randy. I'm just speak for myself here, but I mean, you got a client that actually does their work and actually wants
hmm
to do things, and you go out of your way to
hmm
help them out because it's like, man, you're willing to do the work. Let's go, man. Let's
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where
It's
you
not
got
always the
somebody that
case.
doesn't want to be there.
Yeah,
What was
it's not
that?
always the case. I say it's not
No.
always the case. So
Yeah.
it's nice. And I'm going to tell you, I've told Jamie that, oftentimes you're a star pupil here, Jamie,
Yeah. Yep.
a star
Exactly.
client for me to be able to work with. And I, and
Yeah.
I, it's not to slight any of my other clients that
No.
I work with for Elite,
No.
but there are the way he approaches his business. He's matter of fact, he's down to business. He's prepared, ready. He develops things on the backside or on his own time, brings them to the meeting, and it's like, Jamie,
Yeah.
this is nicely done. It looks, not only does it look great, but it gives us a lot of comparative information that works really nicely. So yeah, there's exciting when you get clients like that.
It is.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
it makes it more worthwhile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You just think about those things that it just, I don't mean to keep talking back to this, but it's like this friend of mine that, I see, he's been a client for all these years, and it's like, ended up doing trannies. We build injectors, and we build PCMs and ECMs and all this cool stuff, and it's like, and I know nothing about that. When they asked me to coach him, I'm like, I know nothing about that stuff, but I can tell
sure.
you, I sure know a heck of a lot now about turbos and impeller sizes and all these different things, but we've been having
That's
so
cool.
much fun just playing. And it's like, if he didn't show up prepared and he didn't want it, I probably wouldn't put as much effort into it, because I know
Yeah.
that he's excited as I am. He's more so. And it comes to
Mhm.
these ideas. And Jamie, that's it's one thing I love about you. I'm learning more about you, is that you've really got that vision and that drive, and it's just cool.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine even putting yourself out there for the coaching, or putting the financial part of it out there if you're not going to put the effort for it. So that's crazy to me that people wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, I guess that's just how we are.
A lot of times people want the reward of that work,
Oh yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and that's where they think that they can come in and they can pay some money and have a coach come in and fix everything. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Coach is there 1 hour a week, couple hours a week, whatever it may be, to just kind of give you some guidance and work
Yeah.
through ideas, but you've got to do the work,
Yeah.
and the people like
Definitely.
yourself that get the big results are the ones that are willing to put the work in and think about it at night and actually show up to the meetings prepared and do the homework, do all those things. And that's when the results come,
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It's a good thing. So, okay. All right. Let me see here. What other questions did I really have for you that, that we wanted to talk about today? We've gone over a lot of good stuff. I really think it's cool about the towing. I want to hear more about that. I had a client of mine that is out of LA, and it's one of the biggest towing companies in LA.
Wow. Wow.
They've been with Elite for years, and it's something that, I'm going to talk to him about that, because it's like, man, why not have your people be nice? I mean, it's
Something to
basics,
see.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, why not do that? Because that's going to be different than all the other towing people. I mean, they're hugely in with AAA, so they have a lot of
Yeah.
guaranteed stuff. But man, it's like a no-brainer. I'm almost embarrassed. I didn't think about that a long time ago. It's
Yeah.
like, talk to your guys about being really nice and friendly, because
Yeah.
what a huge difference that makes. Yeah. Anyway,
Completely.
that's cool. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, we've talked about a lot of things on the list here that I wanted to go over. So, I guess, Jamie, what's one piece of advice you could give a shop owner who's on the fence about whether or not they need a coach?
Well, I don't advice wise, I would just say you do. I mean, there's not really any advice
Yeah.
other than that. I mean, yeah, I mean, you may think you don't. I mean, that's kind of where I was, where I felt like we were already, a decently successful shop in the community. We've been around for almost 40 years at that point, and I, you just don't, like you said, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you can do if you don't really put your effort or put yourself out there. Getting out of the comfort zone of just being and doing what you're already doing is huge, and having that coach to hold you accountable for things that you may or may not want to do on a weekly basis or monthly basis will completely change your, like I said earlier, not just your business life but your personal life as well. I mean, Randy is not only a business coach, he's a very good friend. Heck, he's been a therapist at times. I mean, he's everything
Yeah.
for me. So you need a coach. There's no question about it. I mean, I think even people, in like you're saying, an $11 million company, you would think, heck, he's doing good. He don't need nothing. No, you need that person in your back and in your
Yeah.
corner to help you out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so true though, that I've done a lot of studying on successful people, like countless books, and it doesn't matter who it is. I don't even talk about Steve Jobs or
Yeah,
Rockefeller. It doesn't matter who it is. They all had coaches. Every single one of them had an advisory council. They actually had coaches. I mean, Henry Ford was the best at that. You
yeah,
wanted to build an assembly line, you went and got the best person you could find to help him do that. You
yeah,
wanted to
yeah. You
build,
can't do it all
a
yourself.
V8 engine. you have to surround yourself with successful people. That's just how it
Yep.
works. So that's great words. Thank you, Jamie. Mr. Randy, what about you?
You,
What do you think?
you know, the thing to kind of ride the coattails of what Jamie was just talking about is that I think that a coach takes and brings is either the right information, documentation, but whatever that might be, right at the right time. It might be standard operating procedures, it might be employee manual or policies, pay plans, tweaking, or maybe developing a parts um, matrix, pricing matrix, those types of things, but bringing those at the right time. I mean, you could feel like you have all that stuff, but it's always evolving and it's always changing slightly somewhere along the line. And so what maybe worked 5 years ago doesn't really work now, but there might be a slight tweak to that could work. And we sometimes get that tunnel vision as owners, and we need to
Yeah.
get a little more broadness of what we can envision. And, and oftentimes you just need somebody else to present that to you.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's not just in coaching. That's with I think the entire your entire business or corporation or whatever of the people that you have around you. You
Hmm.
can't do it all on your own.
No.
Yeah.
You definitely can't be just the owner, the boss, and expect that you're leading the charge and you're gonna succeed from there. There's so many smart people around you. You just gotta figure out how to get that out of them first of all, and then be able to put it to, put it to good use. And
Yeah.
that's really helped us along the way is having the right people, like I said, in the right places, but allowing them to help you grow as well.
Yeah. That's one of the hard things, is like
Yes.
Bob used to always say, it's like you find the best people you can find and then you get out of their way, and you let them
Yes.
do their thing. And it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
a lot of times that's the hard part is getting out of the way and
It's
letting them do their job,
huge.
because
Yeah.
you want to get in there and make sure they're doing it right and kind of micromanage them. But that isn't how the success happens,
Let
you
them
know? I
fail.
mean,
That it's not hard to, it's not, it is hard to let them fail, but it's just, if you let them fail, that they won't, they won't do it again, just like yourself. And they learn from it. And it just grows and grows from there. I could not delegate whatsoever before I got in with Randy, and being able to sit down and start letting them take on more and more responsibility has been huge for me
yeah,
personally, because I could have so much more
It's
time to myself.
it's taking on that leadership role
it
now.
Yes.
is.
You move into a different capacity, and 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 you now guide the ship in a different manner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, when you accept the fact that the success of the business is actually in the end, it's up to you. And you've got to make sure that all those people in place are doing the best that they can, and you've got to accept that responsibility and do your best to help them through it, you know and that
Yep.
includes failing sometimes and letting them make those mistakes and do those things that aren't catastrophic,
Yeah.
but I
Exactly.
mean, Bob used to tell a story about a guy that found a problem with he thought for sure it was an O2 sensor, and it was on this particular model of this vehicle. And Bob knew that it wasn't the O2 sensor. And the guy came to him and said, "Well, it's the O2 sensor." And Bob's like, "I knew it wasn't," because, but I had to, let this happen. And so the guy went in and found out, replaced the O2 sensor, and it wasn't the O2 sensor. And Bob's like, but I realized at that point that, I was enabling this guy, because every time he had a problem, he'd come to Bob and Bob would solve it. He's like, when I did that, all of a sudden the guy started to think on his own, and he goes, I changed that guy's life and I made my life better too, because all of a sudden the guy started to really think things through himself before.
Hmm.
And like Bob said, he goes, I made sure that, this O2 sensor was non-returnable. He's like, I ate at that, and the company paid for that. I didn't charge customer, and
Yeah.
I made sure that, because I knew that it was something with this particular model of car, that it was not that O2 sensor, but I wanted him to learn, and he did. And it's like, wow, that's a great point though, because we keep stepping into to bail somebody out. They're going to keep coming to us for answers,
Yeah.
and
100%.
there's a time and place for that, obviously. If it's something with safety or customer, the guy had to have the car back at 5 o'clock, and it's 3 o'clock, and the guy's saying it's the CO2, and it's not. At that point, you can't do that. But Bob said it was a
No,
perfect circumstance, but he said he learned a life lesson. So yeah.
it's cool.
All right. Well, anything else in conclusion, guys, before I let you guys get back to the rest of your days?
Don't believe
Nothing.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Jamie and Randy, thank you guys again both very much for being here. I really enjoyed talking with you guys, and I think there's a lot of good nuggets in here for people that are going to be listening too. So appreciate you
Awesome.
guys, and good luck with the new location, man. I'm really proud of you. I didn't realize that, July, I mean, my goodness, you're in 2 months in. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's it's definitely a a new experience, but
Yeah.
we're getting there for sure.
Well, yeah, but with you being who you are and with having this rock star coach here, I mean, you're good to go. So you
It's
got
been
this. It's great.
the up and it's what's weird about it right now, I guess, is the numbers that you look at and you think you're not doing as good as you are, but you really it's not been too bad for the first 2 months, honestly, in my opinion. When you look at it compared to what I'm doing now, and it seems so minute, but it's
Right.
really not too bad. So
No, it's great, man. Well, good luck. I'm excited to hear about it, how things
yeah,
go. So, but
yep.
yeah.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. And thanks again for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darrin. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, we'll see you.
Thanks for listening to Elite Radio, the podcast for repair shop owners by repair shop owners. If you're looking for help in your automotive repair shop, then reach out to Elite. We provide coaching and peer groups, training for your service advisors and managers, and countless complimentary resources, and a whole lot more. Visit EliteWorldwide.com today, and we'll see you next time.